I'm David Torrance. I'm your candidate for the Scottish Parliamentary Elections for Kirkcaldy constituency. Previously I've been your MSP for 5 years. Before that I was a councillor for 17 years. I joined the party when I was 18-year-old in 1979 after the first vote on the Scottish Parliament. In Kirkcaldy there was only a handful of us, unlike today where we've got over 1,400 members. And the party has changed drastically from being a fringe party to a mainstream political party in Scottish politics, who are leading Scottish politics. I think it was to help the local community. When I became a councillor, there were certain issues within the community I lived in, and I thought maybe I could help there. And there were certain groups who were really struggling, good community groups, but just struggling because of lack of volunteers or lack of finance. And when I became a councillor, my first objective was to try and go out and help them. You get great satisfaction when you actually, whether you help an individual or if you help a group, and you see the success that continues on from there. Because sometimes all groups struggle at one time or another. And that was my drive, was to get out there and help these community groups and be more involved with them. And a lot of them have been very successful since. I was employed as an engineer up until 2007, and I'd been an engineer all my life, and it's an absolutely great profession. And I got offered a job for Chris Harvey as running his office in Kirkcaldy. It was a really good experience to see all the different types of, because as a councillor you deal with certain issues constantly, but when you were running Chris Harvey's office in Kirkcaldy you were dealing with a wide range of issues which you would never ever see as a councillor. My real passion is probably a Scout association. I've been in the Scouts since I was 8-year-old. Joined a group, the Fife Scout group then. I've been in it ever since, and I just feel that not only is it a bit of an escape valve for me from the pressure of the job I do, but I still really enjoy it. And when you still really enjoy it, you're passionate about it and you put a lot of effort into it and time. It's one of these things that I will probably never give up. In some capacity I'll always be there in the group helping. It was a long campaign. The people who helped me were absolutely fantastic, and the number of days and hours and weekends they gave up was absolutely great. And it was their support that helped get me elected, because they were just dedicated to go out there and campaign for me in 2011. It was still a shock that we won. I think the majority is 187 if I'm correct. But the euphoria in the hall to know that Kirkcaldy had fallen for the first time in any parliament elections to the SNP was actually incredible on the day. When I was elected as a councillor, I was actually the first SNP councillor to Fife Council in Kirkcaldy. And I took the view that I had to be part of my community, know what my community was doing, be there all the time, and be in my community. And my majority increased all the time after that because of my activities in the community. So when I was elected in 2011, even though it was different for a council ward and it was a constituency, I took the approach that every night, every weekend, I would be in my community to see what was happening, whether it was going along to tenants and residents associations, or going to a fair, or going to a Christmas fair, or even just going and visit pensioners groups. This a particular favourite's a Grey Panthers from Linton Lane. And I still became active, kept my positions on the board of Linton Lane, the board of YM, and the board of Linktown Action Association, and still continued with my Scouts. So it was all community things I was doing, and I took the perspective that if I became part of the communities, and there was many I represent from Methil, Buckhaven, through Weymss, right through Kirkcaldy, Octortool, Buntalling, Kinghorn. If I took an active part in them, I would know what they were doing and what help they would need. Not only that, I held over 600 surgeries in the 5 years that I've been elected, every Monday, every Friday, Saturdays, so that the community could, and individuals could easily get to me and be accessible, so I could try and sort out problems or give help where I could give help. And I think that foundation as a councillor and that being part of the community helped me move on to be an MSP and just continue it but on a bigger scale. It takes a lot of time, but it's well worth it. I think the SNP have proved it had been a good government. When we became a minority government in 2007, a lot of people thought we would not last with just 47 MSPs. We went through that term, got our policies through, and showed that we could govern Scotland well. And from 2011 to today, I think when the public look at what we've achieved overall, they see that we are stronger for Scotland, and it would promote Scotland more than any other political party. That transformation is taking a long time, but when you see the enthusiasm of our membership and enthusiasm of our activists to get out there and win elections, to promote SNP causes, to promote how the SNP is governing Scotland well, it's changed days from when 5 or 6 of us used to be in somebody's house and decide who was going to be a candidate and the rest would help. I think when you have a look at the Scottish Government's record and the small business bonus scheme and the number of small businesses it's helped within Fife, I think it's over 6,000 it's managed to keep there. That's made a huge difference to a number of small businesses who are still here and who are employing 2 or 3 people in the local economy. You just need to have a look at Carr's the flour mill and the opening of the docks. That was all help funded by the Scottish Government. That has secured jobs in Kirkcaldy. It's reduced Carr's carbon footprint. It's made them more profitable because instead of using a lorry to bring in 25 tonnes of grain, they're bringing in boats of 3,000 and 4,000 tonnes now. So it was all Scottish Government investment and it helped that. And social housing was one of these things that we still need more of. And we were desperate for it at the time, and the Scottish Government has started to build, and we've started to build council houses again, affordable housing, constructed within Fife or within my constituency, and the money has been given by the Scottish Government. But also when you have a look at the renewable sector and how the Scottish Government has promoted the renewable sector and the Fife Energy Park and what's been done there, and how you have a hydrogen centre, you have 2B turbine there, you also have the Samsung, which is just transferred over to be a community-based asset, because we have the facilities here to manufacture and fabricate installations to go out into deep water for offshore turbines. We have the technology here. We have a lot of potential in the hydrogen centre, which is working with storing electricity and taking that forward. And there's already 21,000 jobs across Scotland in the renewable sector, and that's quite incredible for a very young sector to be there in the market with such a short time. So the potential there is if we could keep pushing that forward, we will get highly skilled jobs out at the end of the day. But we need to make sure that the training's there, and that's why I'm really pleased that the new Levenmouth Academy will have a Fife College campus on site. I think when you have a look at our manifesto, it's bold, it's exciting, it's challenging, but it's looking at the future of Scotland. It's looking at the NHS, and we are guaranteeing an additional £2 billion over a 5-year term to protect the NHS. We're guaranteeing £150 million for mental health to try and improve it. We're also given £100 million to improve cancer treatments, which is real good news. When you have a look at our challenge to build 50,000 new homes, of which 35,000 will be for social rent, and that will be backed up by £3 billion investment. That's incredible. We've now taken another step to increase the number of houses available for people, and we're going to increase the number of modern apprenticeships, which all these young people coming out of school will go into a skilled trade and earn a good qualification out of it, which makes them employable, and a lot of them go on to success within companies. So to me, that's one of the areas which really appeals to me, and how we could get people into engineering and subjects that we are short of people in qualifications for. If I'm re-elected on May 5th, I will be absolutely delighted, because I will be able to continue not only the Scottish Government's good work, but things that I've not finished within the constituency, like Save the Ancient Weymss Caves Society. And I've got to praise Mike McFarlane and his team from Save the Ancient Caves Weymss Society. Save the Ancient Weymss Caves Society are trying to protect Weymss Caves. And for anybody out there who doesn't know, Weymss Caves have more carvings on them than all the other caves in Britain put together. That's incredible. It has so much potential as a social enterprise to bring jobs to the area, to bring tourism to the area, if it's marketed right. And I've been working with Fiona Hislop. She's even visited the caves at my request, and Historic Scotland, so that we could try and move the project forward, get funding to protect the caves and to make them a tourist industry in the East Weymss. So to me it's a really exciting times for them, and it's one that I hope within the next few years I'll be there on show, and the Levenmouth Rail campaign. And it's one of these ones that I would love to see successful, and I'll fight hard for the Levenmouth Rail campaign to see if the line could be reinstated, because I think the economic benefits to the Levenmouth area is huge. To me, that's another one of the things that's vital. I would like to continue on and actually see an end product. It would be really good to work with people like Jenny Gilruth, Annabelle Ewan, Sheila Ann Somerville, who bring a vast amount of experience to the job already. And I think we could work really well as a team, as I do with Roger Mound, my MP. You'll see us at joint things all the time across the constituency, and we work really, really well. Our two offices work really well. If we have so many SNP MSPs in Fife, that we could come together as a team for the benefit of Fife. Could I just say, if I'm looking for people out there to support me on May the 5th, to re-elect me as their MSP. And my commitment to them is I will work as hard as I did in the last 5 years to make myself easy, accessible to every individual out there and to community groups or businesses, so I could offer my help and support in any way possible. I will be fighting for every vote out there, because some people think the SNP will win this easy. You've got to go out there and get the votes out the door for you to succeed. So my job is to be out there, promote the SNP, promote myself. Up until May 5th, I will take nothing for granted. Nobody's vote will I ever take for granted. I'll try and meet as many people and chap as many doors as possible to convince them that I'm still the right person for the MSP's job on May the 5th.